guys aren't here. I feel bad for
Steve Brown.
Steve. Yeah, like he showed up ready to play. So who didn't show up? Live. All right, so roll off for whip check. Pass.
Hey there. So we're doing a live bat rep here at Infinity.
So I'm going to
Brought to you by 40 Below Gaming. So the mission we have here is acquisition, and we got Sid and Rory participating.
Oh wait, sorry, I'm going to deploy.
Sid's playing Pano, and Rory's playing Hack a Slam.
I want to deploy second. Deploy second. All right.
So you're deploying second,
I
Rory?
guess I'll
Okay.
go second.
I'm deploying second. Going first.
We're gonna have an uphill battle from this point on. I really wanted that deploy second roll.
I know you did.
So you're deploying second, but going first.
Right.
Okay. And you're deploying first, but going second. And the point of the mission is acquisition, so that rhymes. I like that. There's two antennas and one tech coffin, and the tech coffin's in the middle of the board. You get an objective point by hacking each of the antennas, or having control of the antennas at the end of the game. And you get the most objective points for controlling the tech coffin.
Well, you chose
At the
deployment
end of the
order,
game
so
as
you
well.
would choose the side.
Okay. So you're deploying over here? Sweet.
A bunch sitting around still, and I was like, oh, I didn't think I'd ever use this again.
Fabulous. Okay, we can talk about Rory's Hack a Slam here. So he's just playing vanilla Hack a Slam. I'm looking at his courtesy list here, which would be given to Sid at the end of your deployment. But we can go over, we can talk about it.
My actual one. And I'll just give this to Sid.
Oh, you can deploy first and then hand it to him if you
You
want.
pretty much know each other's lists at this point.
Yeah, it's a pretty friendly game. It's the first round of this live stream thing, so. So Rory's got a couple Gulams, 3 Gulams, a Gulam hacker, a Najara engineer, an Alpha Sid heavy machine gun, Jambazan sniper rifle, and a Ghazi Mutuia in his first combat group. The second one, he's got the Shitanaya remote, the Shihab remote, Gulam Doctor with a Nazmat, and 3 more Ghazi Mutts. So that's Rory's courtesy list. You're on this side over here.
Yeah, I'm just moving all my stuff over there. PvP Ultra Lounge and Hidden City.
That's right. So our sponsors for today's event are EVP Ultra Lounge here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and Hidden City Comics, also Winnipeg, Manitoba. We're actually playing at EVP Ultra Lounge right now. Pretty cool place. Lots of awesome computers, friendly staff. It's very cool. So you're checking lines of sight over there, Sid?
Yeah, see if I can hide this guy behind the car.
S4.
I don't think so, though.
Put the silhouette down. Let's see. Yeah, you can get shots off on him. Partial cover. That's the Peacemaker with the Oxbot?
Yep.
Sweet.
Spitfire. Play up to the majority.
For those of you who don't know, who maybe have never visited the lovely city of Winnipeg, Manitoba, 5 months out of the year it is a frozen wasteland dominated by large snow-based trolls. Pretty much spend the majority of my time living in an igloo. But the other months of the year it is a beautiful summer sunny paradise, which we are currently coming to the end of. So if you've never purchased a plane ticket down to Winnipeg, half of the time you're missing out. The other half of the time you're probably better off not to. This is a preliminary test of our live streaming capability here at 40 Below Gaming. 40 Below sponsors Infinity, 40K, and Age of Sigmar Gaming, which we all have going down at PvP right now. So I believe later we will be streaming a 40K game. So if you are a 40K fan, you can stick around for that. But in the meantime, we will be doing some Infinity. And if you are watching and would like to comment about your army, maybe share some lists that you enjoy playing, we would be more than happy to hear that. Okay, well, I've been instructed to keep on talking, so I am going to keep on talking while Sid does a whole bunch of thinking here. We have some great terrain, both kind of your budget terrain mixed in with a little bit of more expensive stuff. So, I mean, I think that's kind of the way to go, especially when you're starting out with Infinity. You don't need to break the bank. There are a lot of really great options that we do have. So... Oh, that's okay. Yep, no, bending over is not one of my favorite things to do. Okay. If you didn't hear the second part of that conversation, that was a weird comment for me to make right now. Again, this is a preliminary test of our ability to do this, so hopefully we can bring you more of these and it'll be a little bit more clean cut, but in the time being, this is our test. So we did have our local workhorse, Scott, who will be doing most of the commentary on this game. I explained the mission earlier. Hopefully you caught that. I'm sure he'll be going over it again later. We have a game right now versus Hakislam versus Pano, both vanilla. So hope you like your ice cream. Easy to digest. I don't know where I'm going with that, but vanilla. Vanilla is good. It's a good flavor. It's my favorite flavor because I am boring. I am a white, boring guy. Sid is currently positioning a bunch of stuff up on buildings, so it's looking like he's going for those fire lanes. And as a Hakislam player, I like to hide in the shadows. So when he makes that difficult, I have a difficult game ahead of me. Also the Jodam. 100 points to go fuck yourself, which I typically don't enjoy playing against, but hopefully today I've got the tools that I need to deal with it. If you let that thing run amok, though, it will run amok. So even with the low model or the low order count, he doesn't need a whole lot to do a whole lot. I don't know about Sid's army, but for the Hakislam army that I'm playing right now, I've got, I believe, 7 regular, 1 irregular, and 1 impetuous in Group 1, 5 regular, 3 irregular, and 3 impetuous in Group 2. So not the most overstacked list that you could have, but I do have enough orders to hopefully get some stuff done. So Again,
I'm missing one. I have
I'm
this
Rory
little wood
Tracy,
token.
and my opponent is Sid Sector. So hopefully we can have a clean game and keep all the punches above the belt.
Do you have a ton of them actually? I'll put like everything on prone. Thanks.
I'm gonna do like a deployment zone shot with this one.
I do a little bit of commentary, but I think it's mostly.
Well, it's like it's gonna be difficult. So I don't want to talk too much about strategy when I'm sitting next to you.
It didn't work. You just kind of go over like what's going on.
That's all I can go for.
Also, for the 40K fans that are watching, if you play both, like most of us do, you'll notice that my HVT is a scout. So, fluff-wise, I'm going to call him a Hawk Islam genetic experiment that went kind of wrong. His head's too big and his hands are too big. Maybe the goal of our insurgency today is to make sure no one sees that we've been toying with the human genome.
Behind the building.
Fusilier hacker.
Fusilier hacker back here. Got the Peacemaker with its aux spot behind the vending machine. Got another Fusilier over here, prone behind the ladder, with the Machinist prone up here on a building. Got the Orc Trooper also prone up here on a building. Got another Fusilier down by the vending machine, getting some coke. We got a Nisei Sniper with a Trauma Doc hanging out up here on the other building, watching this main fire lane over here. And we still got the holdbacks to come as well. So.
Going second, right?
You're going first. So you're going first, you can deploy a little more aggressively, potentially.
I thought, pretty sure I said I was going second. Going first, whatever, too late now. Well, I'm going first. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, my HVT model has to go down too.
Yeah. Minimum 16 inches away from your table edge.
Yeah, see, I wanted to go second. So I had.
You wanted to deploy second and
I didn't care when I deployed, I wanted the second turn.
oh yeah?
Why didn't you choose second turn? I would have gladly agreed to deploy second.
What's the strategy behind going second?
My happy face marker.
Oh, you want to deploy him
I wanted to have a last drop.
last drop, right?
Oh well, whatever.
But you're still you're deploying second, going first, which is pretty good in most
Yeah.
cases. Because you'll get to see where he is and then like act first. So that's pretty good.
This that one that tournament that just happened. Or something like that. Yeah, no, the guy was
Does the oh, I don't even care. He's prone, right? The Yeah. orc.
So far, it's like 3 10-man squads, 2 missiles, 1 acid cannon, 3 plasma cannons, and a grenade cannon. More cannons. Well, they come here to mic to us to the truth. And then 1 squad, like 4 defenders. Azrael.
If they're not talking, they're talking. Otherwise, all we hear is that. Yeah, just pick a boy. It's hard for him because it's one person and he's right by the it's hard for I'm saying it's when this is the time where you're going to talk to the whole
Unless you're really don't know what it's taking, but I assume it'll be strategy.
Alright. So Rory's deploying here. See lots of Gazi. See some.
No surprise with Gazi.
They're kind of a staple in every Haqqislam army. I mean, 5 points, all the little gadgets they have, can't go wrong.
The Jammer's on the 5-point one as well?
Yeah, they're on all of them.
Yeah, see, 5 points for chain rifle and Jammer, you know, that's quality right there.
I've been toying with using the boarding shotgun just to have like and like to force face-to-face rolls, like because if you just throw down a template, like they can shoot you and it's like a normal roll and they'll hit you and stuff. And I mean, granted, yeah, and like granted they have dog-it, so they can maybe take a hit, you know. I just want to see how it goes. Like I'm loving the way impact templates work, where you can hit the guy and like you can catch people behind them and maybe get 2 other dudes in the crossfire. It's great.
Oh shit, sorry. Wait. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dog it really helps, like surprisingly.
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt for a lot of people because like you think you like okay I just gotta hit him once and like he's out and it's like no like he's gonna get at least 2 chain rifles in unless I have
He's
like
got some
shock
more
ammo.
orders coming into him.
Yeah, or double action or something.
Yeah, something to take him out in that single hit.
Yeah. So there's I mean as far as counters to Gazis, I mean other warband troops.
Yeah,
with
they're the most efficient counters.
yeah, throw down a template against a template maybe or
Bait.
yeah. I mean with this much terrain on the table, it's hard to get like a good ARO piece to shoot him. Like, you know, a Nisei with the sniper rifle would be great because like if he tries to throw smoke, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you've got MSV2 on the
Niseis.
Yeah.
So we tend to play with a ton of terrain here.
We do go very terrain heavy.
Yeah.
As I said, I think that's a little bit of a hangover from the 40k mentality. It's like we hear terrain heavy, and it's like, oh, we gotta go really heavy.
Really heavy.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. Like it changes the game dynamic, and it's cool. Like I mean, if you're playing in a city at least, like there's gonna be a lot of junk hanging around, lots of buildings.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Really makes you think about your lines of fire, your movement, your angles.
Totally. Yeah.
Something as someone who's just getting into Infinity that I'm really trying to get down.
Yeah, definitely.
I've learned that lesson a couple games now, watching my flanks.
Yeah, you gotta have guys covering your deployment zones because you never know about AD troops and.
It's
you know.
true. And the mentality that I was holding the last game that I did this was too central. It was too much bunched together.
Yeah.
If I'd had a little more spread, I would have had more maneuverability to counter the pushes up the flanks.
Yeah.
Instead of me trying to spearhead up the center.
Yeah, it's toolboxy. Like I look at when I deploy, it's like I want to have. Like I know where my objectives are. I need to have specialists near them, but I also want to have tools that I think will work. I mean, if I'm going second, I know where his guys are.
Certainly,
so like, okay, he's got a dude with like ODD. I need some MSV on that side and stuff. But just
you
as
line
like,
up your appropriate counters.
Yeah, exactly. And just as like a generic thing, if I'm going first, like maybe not going to put all my long range weapons. I'm maybe not going to put all my long-range weapons on one side, because like, what if there's a problem on the other side of the board that needs a long-range weapon? With this much terrain, it's like
Right, you don't want to pigeonhole yourself.
exactly, yeah. It was a game I was playing the other day. I had a Sekban rocket launcher on one side and my Jambazan HMG on the other. Worked out really well.
Sure. You've got enough long range to cover both of your lanes. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I think my issue was when I was doing my deployment, I had that central building. I dumped the HMG TR piece, the
Right.
pod,
Yeah.
and then I had my fire team with the missile launcher like within about 8-10 inches of it. So
Right.
I'm clumped all together in the middle and hoping to kind of beat my shots
you're
out.
powered, yeah, for sure.
And meanwhile, for him, it's like, okay, I only have this one spot to focus on.
Yeah. Especially when you've got large teardrop templates
Absolutely.
on the gassies, you just start
Absolutely.
putting them down.
I think it's deployment
Yeah.
order. Right?
What's
Your
going-
holdback's the same as your deployment order, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I did do it right.
Yeah.
So I'll
So
pitch
you,
first.
Sid would deploy his force, you deploy yours. Sid deploys his reserve model, you deploy your reserve model.
I don't know why I have such a hard time with that.
I don't know.
30 games in, still can't figure
Yeah.
Well, no one has Strategos out there, so no messing with that.
Strategos, yeah, that's right.
Strategos, yeah.
Actually, other Scott C did that to me. He used Sun C, and I was like, I
Yeah.
had Fide, and like Fide is
Yeah.
always my reserve model because it's like just makes so much sense. And he used Sun Z, and it's like, like the whole point of Fide is to be able to like go last and pick the perfect spot to mess with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
He still did
Oh, you
work,
got him.
but
Oh.
yeah, it was good. I'm interested to see how.
Impersonation marker.
I'm interested to see how Rory uses Fide here. I think.
I'm curious to see what he does with them in this one.
Yeah.
The game against me, he was pretty aggressive with deployment on him.
Mm-hmm.
He managed to get the impersonation going and he got right in.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think-
And tucked him right by my Ruishi, which it made me nervous. I
Yeah?
didn't want this sitting right,
right
there.
Take it out, no problem.
So I started trying to maneuver it up.
Oh, what do we have here? What's going on?
So, impersonation marker.
So
Succeeded on your impersonation roll.
Rory pushed it, trying to be able to deploy into Sid's deployment zone with his Fide, and he succeeded on an 8.
Perhaps my favorite marker, the smiley face.
The smiley face marker, yeah.
Really, there's no bad intentions here.
All right. Maybe we should just do a shot of Rory's deployment
spend the
zone with
command
that
token.
camera.
So I'm moving 2 orders?
Yeah.
From which pool?
Well, give her courtesy list now, yeah.
And of course, we're doing the exchange of courtesy lists at this point. It does not reveal any of the hidden information.
Just doing some shots of Rory's deployment zone here.
Yep, we're going to take a little peek at how Rory has strategically deployed.
Gulam Hacker over here.
Yeah, I'll do from group 1 or
So down here, we've got the Gulam hacker, and we've got another Gulam.
from group 1.
Some more Gazzies.
Some Gazzies up front there.
Jambazan Sniper.
Good old Jambazan. Whoa, Black Betty. Got another Gulam tucked back.
I believe that's the. Is that the smart missile back here? Or is that, that's HMG. That's HMG.
So we've got the Total Reaction HMG
With an engineer beside him.
and the Engineer.
Mm-hmm. Got some more Gazzies. Always the Gazzies.
Yep, we always have Gazzies tucked around.
Gulam Doctor.
The Dr. Gulam up front.
The smart missile bot.
Smart missiles.
The Facade being all dominant on top of a ladder or bridge here.
He likes to look intimidating, yeah. So, which Facade is that? The heavy machine? Yeah. So, heavy machine gun Facade.
More Gazzies.
More Gazzies.
More Gulam.
More Gulam. Gazzies, bane of my existence.
And an Azmat over there.
Of course. All right, Azmat tucked in. All right.
So that's Azmat is looking.
That's what I'm saying. Like power. So I'm catching this one. First gas. So he's gonna go on.
I'm an advisor. Consultant in the shadows.
Okay, then in sportscasting equivalent, you'd be the color commentator giving the technical.
So these are the
Yeah.
closest guys. So
I'm the guy who's asking questions.
So I guess I'll just go
For sure. That's I'm more that suited. More suited for that.
All right.
And I like to draw things on screen, so if we can get that going,
Right.
that would be awesome. Well, first stream, so working out all the kinks.
Hey, yeah, this is our test stream. This is us trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. So,
Yeah, bear with us.
yeah, absolutely, folks. We will have tighter production in the future. But for now, hey, one more Infinity stream to add to the pile.
Yeah. So it looks like Rory's Gazi are doing their impetuous orders right now. Taking one inside of a building here on the left.
It's advancing the second one up.
Yeah. No arrows. I think Sid null deployed pretty well.
Yeah.
You're throwing on most of the guys, right?
So that's the trouble with null deploying. It's like if you're safe, you're very safe, but you're giving your opponent a lot of
The opportunity to shift
movement.
as needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure.
This dude is
And
probably
Gazis are kind of a unit you don't want to give them a ton of leeway.
No,
because
absolutely not.
Yeah, if they can get close with those jammers,
So first they've got their impetuous movement.
Yeah.
And then you can start feeding the mortars to get them closer.
yeah. So
Yeah.
they get their impetuous, they get their irregular, and then they get whatever orders you have in the pool for
Well,
them.
that's right, they're irregular as well.
Yeah.
Well, you get to go around a building anyway,
And
so
the
whoever gets you
trouble is,
closer
like,
to-
if they get into a good position at the end of the turn, as soon as anybody activates within 8 inches of them, they're getting jammed. 'Cause
Yes.
It's arrow jam. It's just a pain to deal
Yes,
with.
I discovered the pain of that one. Honestly, I should have read up on what they had done ahead of time because I put myself in positions I shouldn't have just by lack of knowledge on them.
Yeah, a lot of this game is just knowing what units can do
There's
what.
so much, and
like,
there's so much that they can all do.
Yeah.
However, I enjoy that part of learning. I enjoy,
Yeah.
I made a hard misstep. What do I do next time to correct it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you place your
Remember when I
HVT?
was learning, they said all your lessons are like
Okay.
paid in blood or like paid in defeats. Like
They're
you
all
just,
hard ones.
Yeah, you get smoked
yeah.
by something and then you never let it happen again.
What's that old
Yeah.
cliche, cry in training so you can laugh on the battlefield?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
All right, so right now Rory's just checking which of Sid's units are closest for the impetuous movement.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing about impetuous too is like I think a lot of new players look at them like it's a disadvantage that it forces movements because you're thinking like they're just going to run out and get shot.
Right.
But if you can plan ahead, thinking like okay, if I put him here, his 4-inch impetuous will take him here.
Right.
It's actually not that bad. It becomes like a free order. Maybe you get a smoke grenade out of the other half of it.
If you're being
so-
cautious on your deployment
Yeah.
and your firing lanes.
Exactly. It's a little trickier with impetuous bikes because they're going to go like
8
8
inches.
inches. So you
Yeah.
have to plan a bit.
Yeah.
For that,
I got a little bit of that coming up, but
yeah. But you're Arigatos because Kyle, you play Yujing,
yes, JSA.
JSA Yujing.
Yep.
So your Arigatos I think is just regular.
They are regular impetuous.
So you can just choose not to if it's
Yeah.
not a good situation.
Yojimbo, the mercenary, is the only one I have that's extremely.
Right. Yeah.
And actually learned that for the first time the other day. That was interesting.
Yeah. How did Yujimbo do?
I misused him,
Yeah.
and Rory got him isolated right at the end.
Well, nice. Well, so Rory threw some smoke here and it seems to be successful.
Got a successful smoke drop.
Yeah. Oh man, I played a game the other day. I think I threw 6 smoke grenades.
And they just didn't
needing
connect, right?
15s and like nothing
Oh.
connected. That's the way it goes sometimes. Yeah.
It is. You can use your tactics as well as possible. You can minimize and maximize your percentages,
Yeah.
but it's still dice.
You get diced.
It's still dice.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so now Rory is going on to the irregular orders.
Yeah.
So now that they've done their extremely impetuous, they're allowed to shift to regular
Yeah.
or irregular orders.
Impetuous has to come first.
Right.
In irregular, you can do at any point in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
second half.
You can also, which I learned because I've been playing Hack Islam, which
Yes.
my armies have a ton of irregular orders. At any point during your turn, you can spend a command token to flip one into a regular, from an irregular to a regular.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
which
So you
is-
can do a conversion.
Yeah, it's super helpful. 'cause,
Does it
like,
convert for the rest of the game or just that turn?
It's just that turn.
That's still valuable for that turn.
Yeah. So I usually, when I play with Dailami, which just end up being like essentially speed bumps, either they make their inferior infiltration roll and end
And they're
up,
doing fine, or
yeah,
they're
sitting at the
trouble,
back
yeah.
with a Panzerfaust. But sometimes I'll just convert their irregular order into a regular, so that
Yeah.
Fide or Majan has more,
That's what I'm
more to
checking
work
outside
with.
with.
All right. Looks like there's possibility of an arrow from Sid on the second half of the movement here. I think they were just double checking at this point. And
Any arrows on that? Or?
No, I thought it was an HVT that I was worried about. Apparently.
oh, the HVT had the arrow.
It's kind of nice actually.
Of course, with Rory and Sid here, they are both newer to
Yeah.
Infinity.
You guys all picked it up like around 2 months ago,
I
2
think
3
it was
months.
beginning mid-July.
Yeah. I mean,
Interestingly enough, right after 8th edition dropped for 40k.
yeah. Yeah, that did help with the recruitment a little bit.
We also had a fair number of us, I think, that were interested, but had never
Yeah.
taken the step, and it was kind of like a group. Okay, everyone, hold your hand. And
Yeah, that's the nice thing about like the community. Once
Probably
you get
not.
that snowball rolling, it becomes so much easier to pick up more people.
So it's like there was no arrows on this movement.
Yeah.
He's
Nothing
doing
here.
the second half of his order, shift.
Nothing here either.
It looks like Rory's moving up without any opposition.
Yeah. It's gonna have a lot of board control because there's a.
Well, I
Yeah.
think there's a difference in order pools as well, in terms
Yeah.
of the size of the armies.
Yeah. Although where did we didn't see where the big dog went. Jodam is around here somewhere. There is a giant tag hiding
Yes.
behind the building somewhere.
So the tags I find are, as someone who recently got in, one of those
Yeah.
things that really hook people onto Infinity. They're like, oh, you've got that big robot.
Giant robots, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You know, there's no. I mean, I guess like
Come for the robots, stay for the tactics.
yeah. Like if you come from 40k, like and you like Space Marines, they have some of that too. Like I mean, the Facade kind of looks like a more like
The more heavy armored ones
Yeah.
definitely share a similar feel.
yeah, and power armored heavy infantry is
Yep.
super cool. And
Some of the heavy Pano guys, some
Yeah.
of the heavy Eugene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
especially like the Aquila Guard with the trench
Yes.
coat. When you put heavy infantry with a badass trench coat and a machine gun, it's just like
It's
that's
intimidating
super
looking,
cool.
yeah.
Even the pose, like the one that the new one is just like him holding the heavy machine gun up in the air and like walking ominously towards you.
All right, Rory's ready for aggression.
All right.
The seed has moved.
I don't think so.
Second half.
He's now going to shift.
Yeah.
I believe on Sid's side, everyone is prone at the moment.
Yeah. Sid did the null deploy,
Absolutely.
making it very hard to find targets.
Yes, because once you go prone, it switches your silhouette value, correct?
Yeah, you're the size of your base.
Yes.
Yeah. Which
There are
is
certain units that can't.
yeah, remotes can't go
Yep.
prone. Tags,
Tags. That makes sense.
motorcycles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to get a motorcycle to lay right down.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to damage it and like
All right.
ruin all the fenders and stuff. Yeah.
Misaligned your weapons.
Yeah. And the important thing too is when you shoot a remote, it doesn't fall prone the size of its base. It still blocks line of sight as if
It's
it was.
still the same
Yeah.
silhouette size.
So you
Okay.
you can use it to crawl guys behind and stuff.
So get the big button away, and then you can
Yeah.
have the distraction.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
All right.
It's one thing I want to do a little bit more with my nomads. Start running more remotes. It's just so awesome with the hacking programs and like
Yes.
especially the repeater networks you can throw down with because all their attack remotes like the Skylon and the Lunicod, they're all repeaters, so you move them up the board and not only do you have like these really effective remotes that can have hacking programs
Yeah.
on them, but you also have the repeater coverage, assuming you're going to have like a interventor hacker or something in the backfield, so it's just really effective.
So when you are having the repeaters out there, that means your hacker is able to use them as though that was his
Yeah.
zone of control, correct?
Exactly.
Yes.
So like, if you've got two attack remotes in the middle of the board, I mean, they each have 8 inches on either side,
Yeah.
and like any heavy infantry, another remote tag walks within 8 inches of that, they can get hacked through ARO from your hackers.
All right. Looks like the Gulam, or the Ghazi, I should say, is taking some regular orders now.
We've got a Ghazi coming up on the side here.
Now this is what has instilled the fear of Ghazi in me: is how quick they get up that one edge.
Yeah. Well, if you think like, so impetuous order, irregular order, and then a regular order.
Yeah, so if you're doing
So that's
move on
24
all
inches
of
of
them.
movement. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's why sometimes it's good to have a few ARO pieces just to stop them and slow them down, because if nothing's watching, then it's just 24 inches. Now I'm within jammer range. I'm
Yeah,
within,
and leaving that unopposed is difficult.
Yeah. You're stuck there resetting. Yeah. That's one of the things I think in the community people have kind of been asking for, is to make comms equipment, or make the jammer comms equipment, because hackers can't disable it. There's really no way to, like, you'd have to isolate the Ghazi, I think.
What did
you just
itself.
do there?
Well, I don't know if it's not comms equipment, then yeah, you can't. Maybe it would still work. I don't know. So what's the
He's in
Ghazi?
pool 1, right?
No, oh sorry, that's the Fide.
Yeah.
Oh, Rory just realized he grabbed orders from the wrong pool, so he's correcting that now.
It happens a bit with Hack Islam because
It does.
I'm always running 2 groups and there's different dudes everywhere. It's
Well, the
tough to-
Caledonians, Ariadne, I guess in general, has that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
which pool is this guy?
Other Scott ran like 20 something orders, and then he used William Wallace, so like all of the irregular orders
Became
became
regular.
yeah. So it was like 20 regular orders plus the Impetuous. There was just so much going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It seems like it would be a very complex list to run, just based on the amount of models to shift and the amount of things that would be
yeah, yeah. It's a lot of moving parts with that, and your guys are squishy too. Like when
Yes.
you're playing that kind of order spam, like
Rory.
I mean,
You're not going to have the durability of a heavy
Yeah.
infantry when you're
Yeah.
a line or a skirmisher.
well, exactly. That's what. So with Yu Jing, like why I'm always saying like Huang Shi are amazing is because like they give 5-point regular orders to the most durable guys
Absolutely.
in your force. So you have like a Yan Hao with like
Yeah.
a HMRC, HRMC. You know the big
The
cannon, the
heavy-
5, yeah, and
the
it's
rapid,
like.
magnetic cannon,
And he's
yeah.
got tons of orders because there's all these cheap guys, and then you can have like a Dao Fei in addition. It's like,
Yeah, that's one of the things that I'm lacking in JSA is access
Yeah.
to something like the Kong
Cock?
Chi.
Yeah.
I can
That's cock.
spam the Keisotsu, but
It was cock, man. It wasn't
Yeah.
flat on the board.
what do we have going on over here?
All right, I failed. All right, I got beat. So what's the damage?
Damage 13.
So I got BTS of 3. Beating 11s.
All right, so we had a Gazi trying to jam the Peacemaker armbot. Rory won the face-to-face, but Sid made his BTS roll.
which means the jamming is not successful.
Not successful.
Beat you.
Oh,
He attempted
Rory
it
tried
again.
it again. But
Is he
Sid
gonna
beat
beat
him.
in the third order?
Just clock.
Now at this point, he's fed a couple orders into that.
Yeah.
It's going to become a very heavy investment if he chooses to continue to try and jam over there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cock dice with D20s.
That becomes one of
Gotta be
the
flat.
challenges of this game. It's like you're in a good spot. It's the,
So we have
Let me just
another
check my,
move and jam
he's gonna whip,
situation occurring.
Reset. Nice with 13.
Sniper is declaring reset.
Oh, I failed.
2 fails. So
Fail, fail. Rory, you used up your luck on Friday.
Try again.
it's jam fest over here.
We're going to feed a third regular order to this one.
Jamrock. First roll
Fails.
there.
Is that a 1?
I rolled a 1 as well.
Oh, then you. Yeah.
And we are having a case of the dice having their way with the game.
What's
as
happening with
opposed
my
to-
5-point models getting
It's
ultra easy jams on you?
the jam is effective, but it is still it's a 1 dice versus
Absolutely.
1 dice. So it's-
Absolutely.
One dice, yeah.
If I do order like this, can I do multiple jams?
you have to do it all on one target. Like a coordinated order has to be on the same target.
But would the target get +1 burst from the spearhead?
If they're all jamming or
And we are feeding a fourth regular
That's how
order into
BS
this jam.
attacks work with coordinated, right?
yeah, but it's not +1 burst. It's just they get their burst cut in half. Everybody else gets 1 burst when shooting.
Oh, cut in half.
Yeah.
Jamming the sniper again.
Roy fails. I failed too.
Fail, fail.
So the interesting thing is, like I was
Come
going to
on,
say
Rory.
before, but before the Jam Fest happened, but
These are free things.
there's this balance between like pushing too hard, like you're in a good spot and you're like, I really need
that
this
your
to
entire
happen,
It's
and like,
overextending.
yeah, you realize like, okay, like I've only got a few left, and if I want to save other things, I got to get them into positions. I got to put them on suppression.
That's interesting.
And it can be tempting when you're on a hot run with a single model, you know,
Yeah.
keep it going.
Or you have it in your mind that this,
Like, we're
this should
basically rolling
happen, this
yes.
should be
face to
happening,
face.
and it just
the
doesn't.
same
You know,
odds.
Worked out the
And then I also get my
percentages, and the
armor
probability says, yeah, maybe.
yeah, exactly. I mean, and you should be
gonna
playing
bug me
the
about that
odds
one.
and
Of
knowing,
course,
like,
of
but
course.
it's like there's that point where it's like I gotta pull back here and do some other defensive work.
And it is much easier to calculate with the D20. Like
Yeah.
5% is every step. That's easier to figure out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I do like that.
run
I'm
your
used to like the D6 thinking where it's like multiples of
16
16.
change,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's not as hard. It's just so much easier when it's like a 5.
Multiples of
Easy
5
5
come
numbers,
in.
yeah.
Yep.
Although trying to figure out your odds when it's face to face, like when it's just like I
very
need to roll
difficult,
higher
yeah.
than a 5 or something.
That's not
like
bad. Yeah.
That's easy, but it's like, oh, but what is it when he needs a 16 and I need a 13? And
Yeah.
then
What's the chance that I'm going to get
Yeah.
the crit, or that he's going to roll over, or he's going to fail?
Yeah,
Or, yeah.
using the Infinity Dice Calculator, I think it's like an app or a website. It's just, it's really like for
It's a good
reviewing your
program.
own plays. Like,
Yeah.
like I thought this was a good move. I can't calculate the odds in real time. I'll remember that situation though, and I'll go and run the numbers and see if like, oh, that was good. It didn't work out for me. Or if maybe you find it was bad, you're like, well, okay, now I know. I'll refrain from that situation
Absolutely.
again.
Absolutely. Helps you learn that lesson.
Exactly.
Now, I think in this case, Rory has hit that frustration where Plan A has not
Yeah.
hit effectively.
Plan G.
Yeah.
Plan Gazi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So starting to look at the board for maybe some defensive planning and where to set up so that when Sid starts activating his models, it's not just getting.
He doesn't want to be in too poor a position.
Yeah, you don't want to get like run over.
Absolutely. Feeding another order.
So the Sid is going on suppression fire.
I think that's a very smart move considering.
It's one thing with suppression too is you always got to remember that 24-inch maximum
It's the
range
maximum
band.
band. Yep.
Yeah, I
It
did that.
switches.
Yeah, I did that the other day. I put a Jean Bazin.
Mm-hmm.
He was just outside of my deployment zone on suppression fire. It's not the greatest idea because if he's just outside of my deployment zone, that means 24 inches across the board. Then in his deployment zone, all of his guys are outside of suppression range.
got a big
all
army.
it takes is a heavy machine gun. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
To pick him
just
off.
pick him off. Yeah.
What's
So-
in Group 1?
Yeah,
I can take
it's
an order.
nice to get the more shots for the ARO, but
Yeah.
it is the trade-off, that 24-inch max.
Yeah. Oh, we got Derek here. Just doing a live stream Infinity, so we're doing the commentary here, and these guys are playing. Nice. First run, so it's kind of like a test run. See how it goes. I think we're hoping they can get mics for these guys in addition to us for next time, so they can, explaining.
Full commentary going. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, Rory's feeding an order to the sniper now. Dan Bajan. And he's gone prone.
Jam is in.
Prone?
Very defensive.
Last order?
Last
Now
order.
he's thinking hard for the final order. This is an important
I'm
maneuver
eager to get my
before
turn
Sid
going.
goes to his.
Oh. What's he doing?
Looks like it's going to a Gazi. I'm assuming probably wants to get it out of get it into some total cover,
I believe.
so he's not a easy target.
Middle here, I think he's moving towards his objectives.
Yeah, and that's the thing is they're only. Cheap models that are 5 points, like your Quang Shi or Gazis, like they're only 5 points, but they're not. You don't want to view them as 100% expendable. Like if you can hide them,
Because
like
that's still orders out of your list. That's still points out of your
Yeah.
list. They are less expensive and
Yeah.
a little easier to get going.
and
but
it's one less tool that you'll have in the future.
absolutely.
So
You
if
don't
have
want to take too many tools out of your box.
Yeah, if you have to spend an order to get them in total cover and it prevents him from getting killed easily, then it's a good play.
All done?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
You can still ARO jam.
Payback for Friday.
Yeah.
Arrow jam would be pretty good. Okay, so rectify my
All
order
right.
pool.
So that was the top of the first.
I got 9 orders.
No antennas were activated. And no classified objectives achieved.
Probably removing Gazis.
There's lots of food here at PvP Ultra Lounge.
Yeah.
Derek was just asking about it.
I'm very impressed actually with the selection they've been adding in. When they first started, it was just the drinks at the bar. Now they've
Yeah.
added a little bit, and they're continuing to expand. So PvP Cyber Lounge, wonderful place.
Lots of good food options. Yeah.
Yeah. Very generous to allow us to do our open gaming nights here.
Sniper is
Yep.
prone right now?
Also, some of the podcasts that we run.
We have some movement over here. Sid's first order, spending it on his Peacemaker.
Okay. Yeah, my movement complete. Move up to gear,
Full move done.
actually. Next would be your arrow.
Yep, so my arrow on the first guy, big boy will be to jam.
Jam here and there. He gets the arrow against him.
So because the Peacemaker has a G-Sync Oxbot, the Peacemaker's getting an ARO from a Gazi, and I think there's another Gazi inside the yellow building there that can ARO the Oxbot.
Those are just two regulars, right?
Because they activate at the same time.
Yeah, but they all draw.
Yeah.
It's 2 models activating, but they one ARO essentially. Yeah, and you can pick either. You can pick the Oxbot. You can pick the Peacemaker. If you take out the Peacemaker, though, the Oxbot becomes
Right.
a nerf,
Ideally, you
so-
want to get the Peacemaker.
Yeah, he's the money right there.
I got Spitfire. Is this a face-to-face?
Jam versus shots? Yes, that's face to face.
Wicked. All right, so my Spitfire's at a... Oh, I gotta move backwards.
Yeah.
Okay, mine has 0 band.
Actually, what's your
My Peacemaker is
on that
PS12.
thing?
Armor 1. I'm getting 4 shots though.
I know. I'm just debating whether or not to try to auto hit you.
It is a tough decision. Should he jam, force a face to face, or just take an auto hit with the template, the chain rifle from the Gazi?
I'm gonna. Do you have a flamer? Yeah, oh, it's a chain rifle.
Just a, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna chain rifle.
So the chain rifle was the decision.
Yeah.
I think that's a smart arrow.
So here, I guess
If
these
he
are
can,
normal
if you can point trade, I mean,
Absolutely.
it's
2
a,
hits.
it's a 5-point model that gets an auto hit on like a 20-something point model. So
So I need
that's
50.
pretty good.
It's efficient.
Yeah.
Fail 1.
Oh.
I'm gonna go dog it.
So the Gazi failed 1 armor save and is dogged. This is the beauty of the
The Gazi,
of
yes.
the Gazi dogged. Yeah.
It's their final impressive layer.
Oh, so Sid passed his armor save from the chain rifle.
Over here.
So Sid didn't start with a very large order. I
we
think he
can
had
do armor
10
saves on each
total to start with,
Yeah.
and he lost one of
13 damage,
his
14, I believe.
guys, Fusilier.
Yeah.
So that leaves him with 9 to
Armor
start this.
save.
9.
That'll fail.
So this is 300 points. Yeah. Sid has a Yodam tag, which is taking up quite a substantial chunk of that. Yeah. Yeah. So it looks like on the side here there was a trade-off, a Gazi and an Oxbot, both templated each other, both died.
That's a fair trade. If I was doing the Gazi, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Did your Gazi go dogged or did your Gazi die? They're both dogged. Oh, they're both dogged. So the Gazi is still on the table. He's just dogged.
For now, yes.
Yeah,
So at the end of this turn, the dogged models will be removed.
that's right. Yeah. Yeah. It's such a good thing because it's just they're the longer they stay there, the more the more orders they can suck out of you.
Yeah,
'cause
more
they're like,
chance for doing AROs, more
Yeah.
chance for getting something off before
that-
they click.
that's kind of the hack-a-slam strategy sometimes. It's just give you enough speed bumps to prevent you from being able to get to the big stuff or like
Absolutely.
achieving the objectives. So like Gazi's, Delami,
Draw them in their bumps.
yeah, exactly. Guys who lay mines, like
Yes.
mine layer Farzan is sometimes useful because start with a mine laid mid-board. All these things are
I
great
think
for...
mine laying is an effective one for sure.
Yeah, yeah, especially now with like season 9, there's not a ton of super specialist heavy missions. Whereas I would always take like a infiltrating camo specialist.
Right.
Now I'm thinking like, well, I'll take one of those, but then I'll also take like a mine layer.
Right, you can spread it out a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, I forgot my vine layer ability, as I always do.
Oh,
And Rory
That's
forgot
right.
the crucial mine layer ability, of
the
course.
Fasid's mine. Yeah, he lays mines at the beginning of the game.
That's what you pay for mine layer.
Yeah, that's good. It's good.
It's nice to be able to throw one down immediately.
It
You
is,
don't have
yeah.
to expend an order deploying.
It's just it's deployment zone defense to have
Oh.
that. Oh, so Yodam comes around the corner.
The big terror is moving.
You can just
Yeah.
hop over you guys because your silhouette is lower than his, right?
Yep.
I think so.
So
Yeah.
my ARO will be dodge.
You're gonna reveal and dodge.
If you dodge, you will reveal yourself.
Yep.
Right. You can also do ARO engage as well.
Oh, is that an option? Okay, so
You can
what's the
engage.
It's just a physique
Dodging
roll.
into me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you get to move. You also have kinematica level 1, so you can move 3 inches.
So I got a coin flip here.
Or you don't even have to reveal yourself.
He will. Yeah. Any roll requires if he rolls
You don't have to
anything.
do any ARO.
No, but I want to.
Well, so your first skill is to move. He declares ARO engage. With your second skill now, I believe you can shoot at him because
shoot at
he's
him.
yeah.
Absolutely,
I
because
got
if
heavy
he's
flamer at you.
declaring engage,
Yeah.
he's revealing
You don't
himself
get the
as
surprise
an
attack.
unfriendly model.
Why not?
Because it's an ARO.
Yeah. You don't get
surprise attack
yeah. You don't get surprise attack in arrow.
He's just gonna run away from me if I don't get at him now, though.
It's
Well,
Sends him to
it's
chase me down later.
yeah. It's also very hard for him to discover you because remember you have to go from M1 to
It's
M2.
impossible. I have no biometric visor, basically.
All right, screw it. I won't do any of this.
Okay,
Again.
this is a friendly game, so we're kind of cool with talking out order sequences and stuff.
Again, a lot of us are relatively new to
Yeah.
the game, so we're still at that point where vocalizing makes it a little easier.
Yeah, yeah. It's not a tournament setting, so you can kind
Absolutely
of talk with your opponent about some of the options.
Learning games.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, for our community especially, like lots of new people.
Absolutely.
get
We're
in,
really
so-
trying to grow it right now.
Yeah, here in Winnipeg,
Hi,
Manitoba. Oh, we have some long-range shots here.
Looks like Jordan has line of
What,
sight.
what kind of ARO would you like to do?
It'd be good to get the camera down there,
Okay.
but it's a
Breaking
bit
suppressive
involved.
fire?
But yeah, there's a nice little fire lane down by this truck here.
For next time, that's something we'll have to figure.
Yeah, for sure.
24 inches for suppressive
No,
fire.
no, I'm thinking my shot's probably higher because I'm at the yeah. I'll take a shot at you.
Taking a shot back. All right.
So it's
we're
a
at 30
shootout.
Can do a regular
35.
Yeah.
What's the H&G band? 32 plus.
After 32, you go to -3.
Jesus. I didn't measure that ahead of time.
shot. Or nothing for suppressive, because
So-
suppressive
Yeah,
chops
so-
at 24.
For your ARO, you'd have to say either suppression fire or
Shot because I thought I
Put a
could
single shot.
yeah.
Yeah, oh, my bad too.
Okay.
So
Is there cover for both of them, or is it
I don't have, you have cover, I don't.
right? So
So I'm going from BS 15 to 9.
so Sid's BS15 -3 for cover, -3 for range.
Okay,
Rory's at
4
Rory's
10,
at 10
just
for his
-3
shot.
for
I
range.
got a crit. I got my crit. He rolled a 9. No, it's a 6. Sorry.
So I beat your other one.
Yeah, but you take an auto hit from the crit.
So the Sid took a crit, but his roll was able to cancel Sid's 2, so he only ends up taking one wound. Yeah. So now you have the option. You have a guts roll, or you can choose to voluntarily fail it.
Voluntarily fail
I
it.
don't believe the Sid is religious.
Can I just go prone?
He is not, so
You're free to.
free to just drop.
Yeah.
So you can drop prone, right?
So he voluntarily fails the guts roll and takes cover behind the wall there. All right. Yeah, that's a tough situation for the Sid. Yeah. What kind of ammunition were you firing?
AP shock.
AP shock. Well, it's
I rolled a crit.
yeah. I think it's AP/shock. So it's either you have to pick one or the other.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yeah. If it's AP plus shock, you get the benefit of both. If it's slash, you got to pick one.
Well, AP.
AP would have been. Yeah.
Again, he doesn't get affected by shock.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely hitting the heavy infantry, the AP would be the smarter option.
Yeah.
When you've got that much armor you're dealing with, you want to drop it
Yeah.
any way you can.
He's armor 8 in cover, which is pretty good, even against a heavy machine gun.
Honestly, I'm kind of looking forward to using the K1 combis for
Combined army. Yeah.
Spend about 10
Yeah. I mean, they are a pretty hard counter to Yodam. I mean, take his armor 10 to armor 0.
I've noticed in the list I've been putting together for Onyx that it's very much
Instead of going down?
a lot of shoots.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I've got the engineers, I've got some hackers, but it's a lot of I'm just
A lot
shooting
of
you out.
yeah.
He's doing
This is the Onyx contact force you were talking about.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do the straight box, but I'm going to do that sectoral for
Yeah.
Yeah,
first
so I'll
step
take a
in
wound.
mind.
and then I'll
Nice.
kill you.
Yeah. You can do the fire team Harris with 2 light tags, like
Yes,
the
two
Xenodrons. Yeah. Oh man.
They're the next order
Yeah.
that I'm putting in.
That's scary, eh? Just like watching your opponent spend 1 order and move 2 tags and an Umbra Legate or whatever. Like right.
It's the Samaritan with it.
Oh, Samaritan?
So he's
Okay.
got the
Having that guy go to the
vampire
ground.
martial arts.
Oh, the Protheon or whatever. Yeah.
So when I do a wound,
Yeah.
I add one to my profile up to 2
Oh, that's
more,
super
so
cool.
he can go up to 3 wounds.
That's really cool.
And he's got the Vorpal close combat weapon, so
That's
that's the monofilament you can throw.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's super cool.
It's an 8-inch throwing weapon.
See, now, with all the new players in the community, all these factions that I was like never super knowledgeable
seeing
on,
them
I
come
need to
now,
like
yeah.
like Toha is all of a sudden has like 2 or 3 players. Like okay,
But,
I got to learn about all that. Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
encouraging.
It's great. No, it's now we have full representation here in Winnipeg, so it's great.
Well, my intent right now is to focus on the Yuching and the Combined Army factions. I would like to flesh out the sectorals on those. You know, get as much of the ranges as I can, and I've got fun combinations I can put together then.
That's the nice thing is you just start with the faction, and then before you know, you're playing all of the sectorials.
Yeah, like I picked JSA to start, and I had no intention of doing any of the other Yuching stuff just at the very beginning. Now that I've been playing and I've been looking at those models, I've been looking at abilities.
Silhouettes.
You have to do a lean out action to look over the edge. So it's a full order, and you kind of like, so like, he wouldn't be able to like if you move there. He can't. I don't think he can move shoot. He needs to move idle and then do a lean out to see around the corner. Yeah, not down. Usually it's there's a specific order called a lean out for guys who are like directly below you.
I know there's that rule existing, but if I can draw a line of sight, you really have to think like that.
I think you do because that order is designed for that situation. Yeah.
Take a. It's okay. I'll let you just do your arrow.
Alright, so since being
I mean,
gentlemen
I'll do a
leader.
reset.
Yeah, I could be wrong on that if someone's watching and wants to comment, but yeah.
Failing. Reset. Passing.
Oh, so the Gazzy tried to jam ARO and did not succeed.
I'm putting another order on her to do the lean out.
So this is a full order lean out.
Yeah, I get to shoot as well.
Yes.
Shoot.
It's almost like combining move and shoot, only you're just
Yeah,
doing
it's
a lean.
for these weird awkward situations like
So you
that.
automatically hit me. Yeah. Get 3 combi rifle shots, plus 3 for the range band. I'm assuming. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
there's-
between 0 and 16.
You're 15, so there's no cover. Yeah.
2 6s and a 1.
So that's 3 hits. So the Gazzy arrowed with the chain rifle, and the doctor succeeded 3 times.
Save is fail.
Fails on the armor save.
Jams, I failed.
He failed quite a lot of jams. Yeah.
75% chance of success.
All your sandwiches are just peanut butter.
I don't feel so bad because his first jam on Friday put Shinobu in isolation.
Yeah, it all comes
Oh,
around.
Great.
No, I kill you.
And I was spending the rest of the game mentally trying to go through anything I could to think
Yeah.
of to shifter, but I didn't have an engineer in the list.
To fix her isolation.
Yeah.
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 That's rough. So over here we had a bit of a point trade. So Agazi lost 2 wounds, so he goes dogged and then dies.
Still traded my doctor. For
And then
gas, which is
the
pretty
doctor also failed the chain rifle armor save. So that's a fair trade. I mean, and that's
It's not a bad trade.
5 points for I think a trauma doc's like 12 or something.
Yeah.
So
And that's one of the things you do have to look at is what have you taken out for your points?
yeah, just
What have you expended to take that out?
disproportionate point trading is a good thing for
I'm gonna
hack.
do a hacking program.
Yeah. So I love the Delamis because he's an 8-point guy with a Panzerfaust, and like he makes somebody think like, I know like I'll probably win that face to face, but on the off chance that I lose it and I take a Panzerfaust, like I might lose my heavy infantry. 'cause
Yeah,
it's-
exactly.
If he improves aerial drop eye factors, I get a rolling second.
Yeah, so like, are you saying to you can spend the order to improve to give the controlled jump?
Yes.
So there's no ARO to that.
No.
But when you bring the guy in,
He
yeah,
can ARO though because he's within 8 of me.
yeah, he can.
I thought I got to do something to that drop if I had to.
You do, yeah. You can do
it's
hack
not-
transport.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I,
we'll do a face to face when I drop down.
Yeah, are you dropping right now?
No, I'm putting the order to make the better physique roll.
Oh, okay, so I see what you're saying.
So
yeah,
only
so
he can-
yeah,
can do,
so this you can ARO because he's doing the improve. It's called the controlled jump program.
Yeah.
So your Fide there in impersonation. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, because
Yeah, it's not worth
so
flopping
when
the
he actually
impersonation stage.
drops, I get to do something.
correct
That's when you get the attempts,
when the
yes.
guy comes off the plane.
It's
Yeah.
okay to learn. It's okay to
Nope,
learn.
it's all
You know,
learning.
that's what this system's about, isn't it?
Of course.
Nice sweet drop zone here.
I have to take it. So like, I can just shoot everything in the back.
You just have to fit the template down. The template has to fit.
Yeah, you have to. Oh, they have 360 visors. All right, forget about that. They both have it, or just the HMG one?
Just the HMG has the 360 visor.
This is the missile one. Your arrows would be to change facing. I didn't mean you could shoot.
There's a big decision on where to airdrop here.
This is an important one as well.
Yeah.
What's this?
So for the drop, you have to have an area the size of the template clear.
Yeah,
The
you got to be able
circular?
to fit the template. Yeah. It makes it pretty risky, and sometimes it's hard with all the air conditioning units on top of buildings and stuff.
Oh, certainly,
It's-
certainly.
Yeah, you can't
It
really
can
fit. Yeah.
Neutralize that big flat space.
Yeah.
Now, you can land on top of a building if it can fit it, correct?
I believe so. For some reason, I'm suddenly blanking on this.
That's fair.
but
That's fair.
I know it has to be able to fit the template. I'm not
Yes.
sure if it also has to be game table. To be honest, when I use my AD troops that have AD combat jump, most of the time I'm bringing them on from the side of the board because it's just so much safer. Yeah. So did we
think
do we
we're
pick a spot or
No, not quite.
not yet?
And,
I've been toying around with like doing things like bringing an EVO hacker. Yeah, that's to fit the template. Yeah.
So if you could do it like that's air
Yeah.
conditioning. If you could do it like on the yellow building, it would fit. Maybe.
We can just play with you can land on top of
Yeah.
buildings. I'll look into it again. Like I said, I should know it. I just never use AD3
Of course.
very often. Well, like I was going to say though, I'm toying with the idea of using things like an EVO hacker so that I can give like my Rajiks +3 just because the hacker's on the board. So he'll drop in on 15s, which is more
That's a little more reliable.
tolerable than
You have
yeah.
a 75% chance of success.
Yeah, without it, it's tough because like usually these like an Akal I think is physique 13, so you're dropping in on a 55% chance. So it's really risky, and most of the time, if you scatter, you're
not gonna
it's
do
not going
well.
to be good. It's
Yeah.
going to be in front of somebody, and you're going to get shot, or you're going to end up you're going to off the table, and you're
gonna have a bad time.
Bad time.
Yeah.
So like yeah. Yeah. Oh no, remotes can't climb buildings. Good. Doing well.
Mind if I change my mind on that order? Since this is a friendly game?
Or is it remotes can't use ladders? Ah, fuck, I can't remember. Sorry,
Forgot about
anyway,
the
go ahead.
HMGs through.
Thinking about can remotes climb? I know they can't use.
Climb ladders.
They can climb ladders.
If they can fit on the size
Yeah.
of the ladder.
I think they can.
The
Yeah.
big fat ones can't.
Okay.
But
It's,
if it, like the S3s, I think are the right size for those
yeah.
ladders.
I think they can go up. Yeah.
Yeah. That was what we concluded the other day because they don't have climbing, so they
Yeah.
can't climb the wall.
It's 300 points. Yeah.
Oh,
He
yeah,
is
yeah.
very alive. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna as close to this way as possible without being
Yeah.
so you could actually like. No, he's not here.
Yeah.
This is what's gonna happen.
We're working on the
Telecast.
what do you call it? Is it telecast or what's
Yeah,
it?
no, that's the NFL's name for it.
Oh,
is
okay.
telecast.
Yeah, we're gonna have that eventually, so you can just like circle and do play-by-play.
So check.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because no one live streams.
All we need is microphone.
Yeah.
So then we can hear them, and then we can do commentary.
So we can hear what they're doing, because like right now we're just saying like, oh, the Ghazi's going here.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have. Yeah, we have an Akal that I think used 82 to come on the side of the board.
Yep. He's slipping on the side instead of doing the drop.
Yeah.
Which I think might be the smarter maneuver in that situation. There weren't a lot of good drop zones available.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Although, was the order spent to buff the hacking or buff the drop?
I don't believe
think
he did.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I wasn't sure.
He was trying to decide on it, and then I believe backed off from that one.
Backed off. Okay. Yeah, I would almost. I mean, if you're rolling an 11, it's really a 50-50 whether your guy lives or probably dies.
Yeah,
So it's tough.
exactly.
Shotgun's done ignore cover, so I'm
Well,
11 plus 6.
if you fire, yeah, shotguns will ignore the armor bonus to cover because it's a template weapon.
Even a light shotgun?
Oh yeah, yeah, because it's a you'll still get the -3 to hit, but it won't give him the +3 to his armor because it's a template weapon.
Okay, so I'm at 17 minus 3, so I need 14.
Yeah.
You went from 11 to 17 to 14s. Right. And I need 16s. 14 will beat you.
So one hit goes through.
Armor save failed.
Armor save failed. Yeah. So the Ghulam hacker goes unconscious. Looking for an unconscious token.
This guy mess up some stuff. Next order.
Who the he hasn't really. He's still waiting in place. He's still smiling. Yeah. Still smiling. It's Fide we're talking about.
Yeah. One of the things I like most about the Fidet is when you put the marker down, the impersonation, you've got that smiley face
Smiley
marker.
face.
Yeah.
You're just ruining someone's day with that
Look,
smiley
I'm
face.
so friendly.
Yeah.
Really, it's like the marker you never want to see.
Yeah, essentially. You can't intuitive attack an impersonation marker, and I love that they did that in the rules because it makes sense.
It's like, hey Bob,
Yeah.
I think you're not there.
Who's this new guy? Should I? Yeah. I don't know. Should I shoot him with a flamethrower? Maybe. Like that doesn't make sense.
No, it really doesn't.
Yeah. It's cool for like camo tokens because you hear a rustling and you're like, I'll just be safe. I'll burn that
makes
area.
sense, but
Yeah. That's weird. Yeah.
the impersonation, the direct impersonation, it doesn't make sense to be like, nope.
Well, 1 and 2. Like 1 is just a.
the one that just straight up you put a model that's not, it's like a different
Oh, that's hollow projector level 1. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like going like,
From the last order, it'll be a coordinated order.
Oh, I think we're doing a combined for the last order.
Oh. So,
yourself as like a good male.
yeah.
Say it's suppressive.
Exactly.
So Sid is using a combined order at this point to put multiple units on suppressive fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks like his Akal came in on the my left side of the board here with this yellow building and took out a Gulam hacker and a Gulam forward observer.
He did a little bit of work.
Took out 2, did some work. It's called acquisition. So there's 2 antennas
All right, Rory, it's all you.
on each side there. There's a green one and an orange one. And then there's a tech coffin in the middle. You can get if you can get a specialist to one of the antennas and pass a whip check, then you get 1 objective point per antenna. Maximum 2. And then controlling the antenna at the end of the game, I believe, is another objective point. So if you have controlling, just means having a guy in base to base with it at the end of the game. And then the tech coffin is if you can control it at the end of the game, you get 3 objective points. And if it's your data tracker that's controlling it, you get a bonus, I think 1 or 2. So in Season 9, you can pick one of your non-marker models and non-irregular models to be a data tracker, and there are certain missions that, like, you get bonuses if that particular guy does something. Like, so if he... Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, like, if he's the guy... Now, in this season, you can also kill HVTs in some missions. So, like, if he's the guy that assassinates the HVT, you get some bonus points.
So when you mean non-marker, like it can't be a token.
It can't be a camo token or an impersonator token. On the game table. It also can't be an aerial. Yeah, and he can't be somebody who comes in. Yeah, on the table. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a new little thing they've added. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, these were 2 regular orders.
Cool.
Yeah. So one's completely removed.
About 4 points. 4 points on antenna, and then
It's not gone. It's just yeah. Okay. So
Yeah. So it's 4 points. I think there's also 1 classified objective for 1 point. So you can get 4 from antennas, 1 from the classified, 3 from the tech console, and then 2 if it's your data plus 2. Yeah.
I was wondering where the
Yeah. So I think that's it.
I mentioned guys, like I'm still here, I'm still wanting to play. I just like
Yeah.
I don't know.
retribution, Sid.
Yeah. No worries. We're
Getting myself back in the game right now. So
I mean, smiley face.
how close does it get?
Okay. Well, the next
Yeah.
discover you anywhere. Oh yeah. You can't attempt for the rest of the turn. Oh shit! I thought it was just like in that order. Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
4 will get me to there.
Yeah.
Still not around.
Yeah.
I thought it was. Kyle took a picture for me.
So if I get into base contact with the second half of my order,
Yeah.
what does that do? That's bad for me, right?
I think you reveal yourself as soon as you touch bases with
Okay,
him. So
so
you better to
this-
just idle.
I'll just move not into base contact with you with the second half of the order.
That's been another order now.
I know. Hopefully it's worth it. Okay.
See, this is unavoidable. I knew this was gonna happen.
I guess I can't
It's
really
like
get
Fide
around
is
behind
trying
you.
to enter close combat with Yodam.
So with the first half, I'll engage.
I declare shoot with my heavy flamethrower.
Well, we're in close combat now.
Well, you're considered revealed all along. So if you start out of line of sight, what you should do is use that second half of your last movement to get behind him.
I can't because he blocked himself.
Okay. Because if he has line of sight to you when you're in a marker state and you go into close combat and attack with your second skill,
I should just walk down and hit him when he walks past me. Whatever. I don't
don't know. That would have been the same effect.
This is a surprise attack, right?
Yeah,
This
it's
gets you
not
surprise
going to be.
attack, but I'm,
yeah,
I'm not doing any rolls.
he's using a template weapon, so it's not going to do anything.
Second half of the attack will be.
So martial arts level 3, he's 20.
He's 21. CC 21 on Fide.
You get them up to plus 3.
You can use martial arts level 24. Yeah.
Now he's 24.
Then your crit number, yeah. So like 16, 17,
16
or
is
is it
crit.
17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah. So
Anything higher than 16. Thank you.
okay. So Rory crit takes a wound on Yodam. Now is that
18
a?
again.
He's on fire. Now you keep rolling the save.
Fuck me.
So Fide critted Yodam there, took a wound off, but unfortunately, on the way into close combat, was burnt to a crisp. Yeah. Their damage 14, I believe. I think he's got a 1.
This is the light infantry guy.
Arm 1.
Sorry, I forgot my. What's that? My
In close combat? He's got AP close combat weapon. You can. There's also a double action variant, but the prof. Yeah, that's. Yeah, he's not like he's good in close combat, but he's not by far the best or anything like that. I use him more on Iwaban. Yeah.
I think if you do move, you have to make your maximum move.
Yeah. No, you can move and then throw a smoke grenade with the second half.
No, but if he doesn't move,
No, the first one has to be. So you're.
I think I just read that has to be. They both have to be as far as possible.
Uh,
Yeah, but you can't see me. Okay.
yeah, I'm pretty sure with the Impetuous, it's just the first half that has to go move, and then you can choose to throw a smoke grenade, or I could be wrong.
I know. I'm just saying.
No, I think you're right. But anyway, that is my full move.
Since I just started playing with Magister Knights, I looked up the rules.
Yeah.
Okay, and with his impetuous, or his regular,
Oh, the monofilament close combat weapon. Yeah.
Stupid Gazes.
Derek, refresh my memory. I'm pretty sure with Impetuous orders, it's just the first half of that order that has to take you towards the enemy. The second half can be like throw a smoke grenade. Yeah, that's a.
Rory's got no luck with it.
Yeah, the typical one is dodge smoke.
Yeah, move, throw, smoke. Yeah, that's what I usually do all the time. So.
Normal.
Yeah. Fortunately, that what happened there. So Rory moved with his Impetuous order. And did the sniper get you, or?
he just fucking failed the goddamn jam again.
Ah. So many jams. So many failed jams.
So fucking many of those.
No, I didn't even fail. I beat you on that roll.
Yeah, whatever. It's the same thing. I failed.
Yeah. Yeah. So no luck with the jams
Yeah,
this
here
game.
it is, Scott. And it says you, second time during the Impetuous order, he moves the full number of inches indicated by the value of his move.
So if you go move, but you don't have to go move.
You don't have to go move.
No, but
Yeah.
I did. But I did go.
Could you do a move idle?
Yeah, you can do move idle. It's just the
You just can't go 6 inches. You're either going 4 or 8.
yeah.
Is that guy still prone? The
Yep.
orc? Yeah.
The only way you can move less is if you get into base-to-base contact instead. Do you regenerate on him or anything?
No, I got a doctor down there though.
Run into the doctor's office.
Where's the doctor? He's down by the crate there.
Second half of his order will be to shoot at this guy.
Oh, we got a Facid shooting at a Nakal. Kali. So Rory's shooting with his heavy machine gun, and Sid's Akal commando is dodging.
1.
So that's 4.
Ooh, 4 hits. Nope, 3 hits. 3 hits on the Akal. A heavy machine gun from an Alpha Sid up on the bridge here.
Plus 3 for coverage, 5, so I need 11s.
He's looking for 11s,
He's unconscious.
so he goes
But
unconscious.
I don't know doctors anyway, so
That's all I needed.
that's all you need.
So the Akal is down. Is it an Akal or a Kali?
That was a
I think it's Kali, but I've never been through it.
Yeah, okay. Close enough. We know who we're talking about. Yeah. All right.
You losing 2 orders is okay. Me losing 1 order is pretty bad.
Yeah, that's Sid makes a good point. With Pano losing 1 guy is equivalent to like Hakislam losing 2 or something. Or like, I mean, the nice thing about irregular orders too is if you lose one, it doesn't affect your order pool. It's just like it's just 1 less guy on the board, but my order pool is still intact, right? Yeah. Right. So you got 4 in one group, 4 orders in one group, Rory, and 2 in another.
He's been hurt that bad.
Well, here's the courtesy list if you want to take a look.
No, that's left unspent.
Left unspent. Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's still a pretty even game, I'd say. It's just Jodam is a bit of a tough unit to deal with. Jodam tag.
Very.
Yeah. You need like a effective hacker, or I mean, Gazis actually have a good weapon for dealing with it. They have Emirats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Hakislam's got a bunch of good stuff to deal with tags.
Yeah.
Hackers, not the least of them.
Yep. Smart missile bots. Good. Like Whip 14 forward observers are great for trying to target things. So
What's the guys who jam them, isolate them?
those are Gazis. Gazi Mutulia or something. People call them Mutts. People call them Gazi. They've been a hot topic of conversation for this game because they're in every single hack list.
Almost everyone that I've tried shooting.
Yeah. Oh, so we have a sniper who is the Jambazan sniper stood up and is targeting the Peacemaker armbot.
26, 27.
That might not work.
I think I'm out of range. Oh no, I got range. I have -3 though.
Yeah.
-6.
So the armbot's at -6. Rory's at +3, -3 for cover.
Shock might not have an effect against
It doesn't work against remotes.
So
Yeah.
I need 50s.
Did you get is there any cover involved or?
Oh yeah, so -3 for cover.
Should.
So I need 12.
So,
Crit and a red.
so Rory has crit the armbot and does an additional hit as well.
He's been spanking the shit out of him.
So the armbot is unconscious.
Well, you did 2, right? You did crit and a hit.
So he's unconscious level 2.
Oh, yeah.
Might be irrelevant. Does he have an engineer on the table?
He does have an engineer on the table, yep. Sid does as well. He's the machinist is in that blue building with the air conditioning unit at the top there, yeah. Hey Sid, is there a PALBot linked to the machinist? There is, yeah. So, yeah, the doctor is over there. He's unconscious though. So, yeah. So
Wish I had a tech.
Peacemaker is down but not out.
Is jump a full order?
Jump is a full order.
Where's this?
Jump. It is his movement. First movement value doesn't need to roll, right?
If you go over your first movement value, then it's a damage 10 hit for every like section you're over, I think.
Down a level?
Yeah.
So the Fizzid has jumped off the bridge and is now on the game table.
I haven't seen anybody use these against me, so I'm kind of curious on how it works.
The Fizzid?
Yeah.
They're basically just like a you put them in cover and they just sit there with a heavy machine gun. Like they also have some cool stuff like smoke grenades, smoke grenade launcher. They have mines.
In order.
They have Sixth Sense. Level 1, not as great as level 2, but still useful. I mean, they're a good unit. I am someone who personally likes cheap point guys, and like 50 points is like that's a lot. You know, I play like in my Hakislam army. I have like the healing thing, like the doctor. Yeah, to heal is a short skill. Yeah.
Start base to base, right?
Yeah, so she moved into base, and now she'll try to heal him.
I think you have to be unconscious to do the heal, though. Yeah, I think one of the requirements is they have to be unconscious. I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
The only exception is if someone's in no wound state, then
Yeah.
you can bring them back up to.
I'm pretty sure.
You want to look it up first?
I'll look it up. So we're doing it's a friendly casual game here, so we're rewinding a few orders.
Is it called the engineer?
It's the doctor roll. Yeah, it says.
Engineers you can repair at 1 point though.
Yeah, it says one of the requirements of the doctor skill is the target must be in an unconscious state.
But structural points can be repaired.
I'll look that one up as well. Yeah, the Facid's a good just like tank unit. I mean, it's nice to have the 2 wounds, because it is really unfortunate when you do all the planning and like stack the mods, but your opponent just crits you and your guy only has 1 wound, so he's like, yeah, that's it. But with the Facid, it gives you a bit more leeway.
So he's a big light infantry?
He's a big heavy infantry. He's 2 wounds.
But he does have 2 wounds.
Yeah. Sid, yeah, you can repair structure points on remotes that are still active. So like Yodam, you could walk up and try and repair, even if he's not unconscious.
What's your order pool looking like?
The user may declare use of this special skill until the target has recovered its full structure. Yeah. Although if you fail, you lose 1, so that's pretty risky.
Yeah, but you're allowed to use command counters to pick it up.
And second half lateral, we just shoot it on the spot that he's dead.
Oh, this thing? Yeah. Alright. Zaka.
Awesome.
So he's at 14.
So what's going on here? So the Facid is shooting at. Who was shooting here? Oh, total reaction bot just iced completely the Peacemaker.
I don't know if it was a crit because it was in cover though, but whatever.
Oh.
You would have still done it.
So we might have had a couple misses.
You would have had cover, yeah, because it's still, even if you're on.
I don't know again. Because yeah, it would have been minus 2.
So we're just gonna do a bit of a reboot here because we didn't apply the cover mod.
Check the tape.
So I got 2 hits.
2 hits.
That'll kill us.
So
Sorry.
No,
yeah.
that's my fault. I just didn't.
No worries. The outcome was the same. The Peacemaker is dead.
I always think that when they're in no, they don't get covered, but they do.
Yeah.
So they're decent.
Yeah. Some of their war gear still works too, like their mimetism and all that stuff.
Unless they got fried.
Yeah. Alright, so we can just take a minute to mention some of our sponsors here, some of the 4DBG sponsors. We have AYB Online, PvP Ultra Lounge, the location of this bat rep here, On Call Solutions, Hidden City Comics here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. A lot of the mats we use are also from Frontline Gaming, and the foam we use to carry our miniatures, Battle Foam. Secret Weapon miniatures as well, providing bases. Cromlech for some conversion bits, and War Games exclusive.
I haven't jammed a single thing all game.
More jamming failures, eh?
It's crazy.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, and I got one more in Speed 2.
It's the last order in Rory's second group. Looking around the table.
Shoot the guided missile blast template on like just anything.
Yeah, it's you can shoot it like a. I think there's
Spec with a fire, I guess, right? So it's a full order.
Well, it has it doesn't have spec to the fire, but it has a profile that you can just shoot if you want it. I think it's on like auto aim mode or something.
So the smart auto aim mode, 24 to 40 plus 3, 14 AP plus DA.
Yeah, it has a template.
Yeah.
It's only burst 1 though.
Is it a full order to shoot that at just nothing though?
No, you can. What do you mean shoot it at nothing?
Like if I know he's got a guy prone over there, can I just pop the template?
Oh no, you need the speculative shot to do that. You'd still need line of sight as per normal.
Well, then I'm going to. Okay, this is sneaky Pete. I'm going to do my movement on this guy.
Spending an order on the
2 back.
total reaction bot to peek out 2 inches around the corner.
Goes up to 2 inches, sees the Yodam,
See Yodam,
and then goes back.
and to peek back in.
Line of fire fires right there.
Alright, sure, whatever, okay.
Okay, and pops back.
I'm gonna check the range band.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, my ARO will be... I'll shoot you with one explosive shot, I guess.
Okay.
So, ooh, this is high stakes ARO here.
Way over.
There's a heavy machine gun from the TR bot, the Shihab, firing at Yodam, but Yodam's firing back with an explosive round.
We're both -3.
Some high stakes for the total reaction bot here.
You're doing -3 for cover as well, right? You're on -6.
So I need 5s.
You need 5s.
What are you shooting on, Sid?
-3, so 12s. One shot at your 12. Out of 4.
I also got a 4. So nothing happens.
Oh, so they both rolled 4s, canceling each other out.
That's my turn.
That's the end of Rory's second turn.
I've lost 2 of my orders.
Bottom of turn 2, yeah.
This show has been brought to you by Wayland Utani.
Yeah. Wayland Yutani, that is right. I wonder if we had any shots of that. We should
That's not what
get some. It's too bad Wayland Yutani isn't a real company. We could be like, hey,
Oh yeah,
we're repping for you. Yeah. I don't like their Xenomorph products. Yeah. So Sid, how many orders do you have in your?
I went from 10, I think I'm down to 8 now.
Down to 8.
can't believe that Gazzy didn't
Jam me.
Well, you've lost the you lost your doctor, your Cal, and your peacemaker.
Oh, my doctor too.
How about
Forgot about her.
Yeah. So Sid's at 7 orders.
Yeah, that's it.
this guy's good.
Yeah. Yeah, shit, I gotta be a little more cautious.
I don't even know who's winning or losing. I feel like I'm losing though.
Well, nobody has scored any objective points at this point, so I haven't heard of anyone achieving a classified objective. No one's hacked any antennas. You guys,
What is the mission?
the mission is acquisition. So there's 2 antennas, and in the middle there's a tech coffin. You get 1 point for hacking the antennas with a specialist. You get 1 point for each antenna you control at the end of the game, so base-to-base contact. And you get 3 points for controlling the tech coffin in the middle at the end of the game. An additional 2 points if the model controlling the tech coffin is your data tracker.
Nice.
And then there's 1 classified objective for 1 point. But it is currently a 0-0 game. Very focused on bludgeoning each other.
I noticed that.
Or isolating, in Rory's case. Just the jamming hasn't been too successful.
Well, those things are hit and miss. Sometimes they can work great. Other times they can go boldly right into a kill zone.
Yeah, no. Great unit. I feel like we spent a significant portion of this discussing the pros and cons of Gazzy's. Gazzy Matuia, yeah.
Hack-to-Slam monks are the same way.
Oh yeah, they're the standard, like a lot of factions have that profile. It's like an extremely impetuous guy with a chain rifle and smoke grenades. And he's like 5 points, 6 points. It's just the Hack-to-Slam version is, I think, a lot better because of that. Well, I mean, they have the jam, and they also have the Emirats, which make them extremely effective against heavy infantry and tags and all that.
Well, you got
So-
me once from my father night with turn 1, so it worked quite well for you.
Yeah, no, they're really good.
Can you cast it's like Spotlight on a camo marker? Like, is there a Discover hacking program?
There is not a Discover hacking program, and I don't think you can use Spotlight on a camo token. Yeah.
If you have a satellite connection, you can
If
spot
you
it
have
from outside your
Satlock, I believe, you can do the, yeah. There's another thing one of the things I've been kind of musing about is using EVO hackers, Evo hackers, in combination with like, I think it's called the Guardian class
This guy's
remote,
so
but a lot of
small, I don't
factions
think you
have
can
them.
actually
It's
see
like a
him.
forward observer with Satlock and all that stuff.
Wait,
Because if the EVO remote's on the table,
actually on the-
you don't get the -6 to your whip roll for Satlock. And you can immediately, and if you also have like a smart missile bot, you can go walk up to a camo token, out of line of sight, do the Satlock, pretty easily reveal it, and also target it, and then start firing missiles at it. So,
panel with the Pathfinder.
yeah, they're a really good bot. They're like 16 points.
Yeah, I use them all the time.
So it looks like Yodam, an order is being spent on Yodam.
Covered, so I'm looking for 8s this time.
Yodam and the TR bot are going at it again.
I'm looking for 9.
So 4 dice on 4 dice. So 8s for Rory and 9s for Sid.
AP or shot doesn't matter. AP, I guess. I'm looking for 9s. 5.
So Sid has
5 and a 4.
So everything's
So
canceled.
everything's canceled out.
God damn
They
it.
both rolled 5s. The bullets collide in midair.
Oh, it looks spectacular.
Yeah, I could just a wall of lead just like across that corridor in the yeah.
I wonder how many craters are in that second board now.
Quite a lot of craters on the side of that wall, yeah. Sid's, I think, considering doing it again.
Well,
It's a bit of a tough fight because I think they're about even. Like Rory was looking for 9s, Sid was looking for 8s, or maybe the other way around. Yeah, so that's a pretty even.
It's a tough firefight.
Yeah,
The tag's got the edge. In case it gets hit, you can shrug it off.
true. Yeah, it's a question of whether Sid, as the
So he's
active
gonna
player,
merge
wants to
cover
keep
this
dumping
time,
orders
because he
into
did
that
close
because
that
it's
gap
not a
last
super
time.
probable
that little
chance
gap
of
that's
winning.
between this box
Granted,
and
each
this
of them
box,
each has a
he moves
20%
through
chance
that.
of
He
crit. So
shot
I think
through that. He's
with
behind
probabilities,
here now.
it's if there's
So he's gonna move up behind.
you have
this
4
box
shots to
and then
roll,
poke out like this.
one number.
So he has cover
It's
at
5
the-
plus
at
5
the
plus
move.
5 plus 5. So each round of firing is like a 20% chance to crit. Yeah.
Well, I remember I went down. I said I don't even think we have line of sight.
Brought my lasers again.
But it's
I got
pointed out that little gap.
Laser
that I
pointers are very useful for this line of sight stuff. Yeah. So they're
little gap with
checking
that
line of
gray-
fire.
between this gray box and this brown box.
The one with boxes, but I haven't opened my terrain boxes.
Yeah.
Tournament.
Oh. I got to. I have your blast template. It's in one of my pouches. Yeah. So you guys are checking line of sight here. Just the white. You only need to see the white part of the silhouette.
You need that from
You can see.
Yeah, look to where. From the corner of that, right?
At this point. I mean, it's
We'll
a little
get,
bit past the edge of his base.
We could maybe let's get a third party in here, Derek, if you want to take a look.
Well, no, you're the judge. You make the call.
Yeah. I thought so. We'll get another second opinion, a second judge here.
This is the edge of it.
This is a big call here. No line of sight.
Not where he is now. If he slid to it, then yeah, but not now.
Well, that's fine. So you
Yep.
can cover.
take off.
I'm looking for
All right, Kyle. Thanks for helping out.
Base 11.
Yep.
Okay, let's check the range.
And, I think like Thursday or Friday, I might do like gaming at my place on Thursday night, and then Friday at Hidden City.
Yeah, I'll find out my schedule.
Yeah.
That's 2 and 2.
Sounds good. Awesome. Thanks. Yeah, so we're doing gaming again Friday at Hidden City, and then I might on Thursday have people over to my place to do some gaming. Yeah.
Spend lieutenant orders.
Every time I try to get around to Hidden City, I get jammed up.
There was 4 games going on and like 10 people at last Friday.
Oh wait, is this the sniper
yeah.
now?
And we got like I bring my
Shot
train usually. Rory brings his table, and the nice thing is it's open like stay there till midnight or whenever. So. And we usually I was there during the afternoon, so me and other Scott played a game at like 1 o'clock.
like this.
I had to leave at 5, but then everyone else just showed up and played till like midnight or whatever. So yeah, it's great.
Fuck.
So what happened here, guys?
Is that a crit?
Yeah, looking for 5.
So it looks like we have the TR bot again firing at Yodam, and it looks like the TR bot got a crit. Yeah. See you, Yuri.
5's all good. See you later, buddy.
Not so
One of
good.
his many wounds.
Yeah, he's down to 1 now. Yodam's down to 1 wound
Move again.
Oh, wait.
because Fide did a crit to him in close combat.
I think he might be okay there. He's a little tiny guy, right?
It's up to you.
I gotta see the silhouette at the corner of the
You know what? I'm not even gonna say. I'm just gonna keep doing this. I don't care if I lose my lieutenant right now. Let's get this over with.
Oh, so another round of shooting.
Fives
Machine guns versus machine guns.
and a 3 and another 8. 4 hits. Oh wait, you got
Oh.
6?
6.
That's failed.
All right. So
Yeah, Rory was looking for 5s. Ouch. 4 hits against the total reaction bot.
You get cover.
He got
16, I'm looking for 13s.
he needs 13s.
Failed 2.
Unconscious level 2.
So yeah, you go into unconscious level 2. So you're still on the board. Yeah.
That guy's standing right there.
Yeah.
Two unconscious.
Spend another order on the Jotun.
Yotam's moving
Let's
again.
move into line of sight of the sniper now.
Okay.
Better
So,
be in good range band, man. Oh yeah, he's
okay, so I'm at 15.
you're -3 for cover.
I'm looking for 12.
So we have a sniper, a Jamzan sniper
So
shooting at Yotam.
I'm gonna be at +3, -3 as well. So I need 15s.
Yotam looking for 15s.
Oh yeah, beat you 4 times.
Oh. 4 hits on the Jambazan.
+3, so I'm at 6. Damage 15, so I need
10s. Looking for 10s.
One goes through.
Only one goes through. He's got regeneration though.
fail it though. And it fucks my order pool up.
Yep. So the sniper went down to Yotam. He does have regeneration, so he's not completely out of the game.
Fucking power that up and repair it though. Or no, wait, can you do that? Because he's not.
So with remotes, engineers can try to heal structure points while he's alive. Or sorry, with engineering, that's so. But here's the thing though: if he fails it, then he does a wound.
So my engineer can't fix a wound off of him though.
No, because he's a human. He's got a wounds profile. It's risky though for the tag though. If you fail it, he's like whip 12 or something for his machinist. So there's like a 40%
Command
chance.
points to re-roll it though, right?
Yeah, that's right. Command points to reroll. Although I did watch Scott C, I think, fail that twice with command tokens.
I've done it.
Yeah. It's brutal when you're Hack Islam too, because you should be revealing or sorry, healing on 17s, and then you fail, and you're like, oh, command token. You fail that, and you're like, oh, good game. It's been fun. All right.
Well, that's why you shouldn't be too worried about the sniper. He's got good healthcare, right?
Yeah, Hack Islam healthcare is the best in the human sphere, man. Best doctors. Yeah, all the silk.
Even if they can't save you, they just dump you into a new body.
Yeah, yeah.
Rotating penis.
Well, that's Aleph. Sorry.
That's robot bodies are Aleph.
Sure you find something.
Looks like Yotam's moving back a bit.
6.
Man, I should just opt I should just try to hope for the best with that flamer, off the Fide out and just walk the crit. Hope they made the armor save and just take them over when I had a chance.
When you charged in with Fide?
When he ran right past me.
Yeah. It's tough because
Essentially what I did later, but it just cost me
engaging
4.
him though, like so if you would have ARO'd engaged with Fide to try and attack Yotam, he could have shot you with 4 dice, and then it would be a face-to-face roll. Your physique of like 12 or 11.
HMG within 8 is -6, isn't it?
-3. So he'd be hitting you on 12s, and you'd be engaging on 111. It's not a super situation.
Math is not good.
Yeah. No, with Fide, I usually like.
Spend the order on the
I just
engineer.
leave him in impersonation for a while and like watch my opponent spend orders trying to discover him. And like, if he doesn't have an immediate amazing target or something, then I'll just let them be like a, people get hung up
last
on.
order?
Yeah, people trying to get hung up trying to figure out. Oh, I gotta like get him out of impersonation, but spend 4 orders maybe. Sure, I'll take that. Yeah.
You got an area effect that can do it too.
I don't know where to put
You can't do the
we will
intuitive attacks against him.
attempt to heal the robots.
Please fail it.
Even with a flamer?
You can't. It's a really cool. We talked about it already, but it's a really cool thing. You can't do intuitive attacks against impersonation because they're your buddy. Like they look like. So it'd be weird to be like, hey, Jim looks strange. I'm gonna roast him.
Yeah.
Just regain
So-
1, not 2, right?
Yeah. It's 1 per roll. So it looks like Sid repaired 1 wound on Yotam.
I'm done, Roy. Turn 3. Last turn.
So Yotam's up to 2 wounds now.
It's all about the eagles. Holy moly.
So is it Rory? Is it your turn now? So Rory's turn 3.
Table flip, don't push me.
Possible table flip occurring. All right, let's just mention a few other gaming events. So we have Open Gaming again at PvP on October 3rd. And the next major event is the Twin Eagles Tournament, Saturday, October 28th at the C4, which is the Central Canada Comic-Con. So it looks like Rory suffered a few casualties here. So you got one order pool of 4 and one order pool of 3. You can also spend command tokens to move guys around, in your pools.
Yeah.
You can like spend one command token to move one guy out of a pool into another pool.
That's your order pool right now? Ooh, small.
You still have the 4, yeah.
Not this, right?
So he's spending. Yeah, you can spend if you got 3 command tokens, you can spend 3 and move 3 guys over.
They're all in one pool now.
Or you spent all your command tokens?
One.
So we spent 3 command tokens to make one big army or one big order pool.
If he's close enough, he has to go spend the whole order to climb, doesn't he?
If possible.
Yep.
Fuck's sakes.
Is that really what's going to happen?
Yep. You're gonna
Is
get
it
a
come scaling up the building at me?
No, wait. I can do the first half of my orders, whatever I want. I can do jam move.
Well, climb is a full order though.
No, but if I do, I can do it in any combination. I read it up on it, so I can go jam move and then just do it down.
Yeah, but it's not a move. It's like a move, becoming a climb.
Jam move is an option for me though. I don't have to go move whatever.
I think he's right.
Well, I think you have to do the climb, but we'll look into this because it's interesting situation. So the question is, impetuous order right beside a building. Do you have to climb if the closest model is up the floor?
I'll spend my last command token, change it to a regular order.
You can
You spend an order to cancel his impetuous order.
you'd have to spend an order to cancel the extremely impetuous. Yeah.
Or unless he's extremely impetuous?
If it's extremely impetuous, you have to spend in order to cancel it. If you're just regularly impetuous, you just can say I'm not going to use it. Yeah.
I know that.
Well, whatever. He spends an order, take a shot.
So the Gazi is climbing up the building.
Pistol. Pistol is going to be +3 range band. Nice 13, so he's 16s. I'll hit him. Damage is like 13 probably. 14. No, damage 11.
Okay, I pass. Thank you.
So the Gazi climbs the building, takes a pistol hit, and survives.
Yeah, as you like in close armor. Okay,
So now the Gazi is right beside the Nisei sniper.
I can't do jam shoot.
You cannot. Yeah.
Auto hit versus face to face. Forces his arrow to be in face to face. Screw it.
Contemplating.
Jam you.
So what's your first skill though? Idle. So then let Sid declare his ARO. And maybe that'll change what you do, right?
Right. Okay, sorry. First skill idle.
Shoot with the pistol.
Okay, arrow. Jam.
Jamming. Okay. So it's a pistol.
16s. 12.
So Rory has not landed one jam all game. He needed a 15 and rolled a 16. So the Gazi goes dogged.
Well, when you're doing a face-to-face and I need 16.
It wasn't face to face.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't. I was jamming you. You were shooting.
I think jamming and shooting is still face to face. Yeah. He's still alive though, so you can still. That's your. You can use your regular order on him. It has to be used on him, so you might as well do it again.
Can I just use it?
That was your impetuous. Oh right, yeah.
That was just a regular.
That's right, yeah.
And impetuous.
Hey RJ.
I'm so mad at them this year.
It's crazy. Well, we can review the tape and calculate the odds.
Yeah.
Failing that many rolls.
You'll be able to see exactly how many jams you
Failed
failed.
like 10 jams.
It's a lot of jams.
I haven't had a successful jam this entire fucking game. Poor Gazi. At least 2 a fucking turn.
Yeah. You've had tons of opportunities.
Fucking
Yeah. Roy's getting diced on the jams a bit. No, the objective is just having control of it at the end of the game. So having somebody in base to base with it. So that's 3 objective points if you hold that at the end of the game.
+1 if you're the data scanner.
I think it's +2 if you're the data scanner or the data tracker. Another thing to mention, we'll be looking at doing an Infinity League in the next
spending
little
first
while.
one?
So in the next couple months, just keep an eye out for that for
Don't think
Winnipeg
so.
Infinity League coming up.
I can't stand up, can I?
As an ARO?
When I was getting shot at. Was it-
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Sorry, Rory, go ahead. Six left.
Jump
All right.
out of this window down and be a full.
Is there something in there? What's? Yeah, it'd be a jump down, and if it's your, you'd have to move to the edge of the. Okay, if he's already there, then it's just a long skill to jump down.
But it's a no, it's not a roll, so you don't get revealed.
You don't
from
have
it.
to. Yeah, movement skills don't reveal you out of camo. For that tech coffin, you don't actually have to do anything. Yeah, it's a short skill for that. Yeah. So he's moving a Gulam forward observer, I believe, into base to base with this right antenna. 14 or less. Ooh. I think you should switch your dice, Rory.
Oh no.
Get some different dice. Use these ones.
What was his whip?
14. Yeah, it's like a 70% chance.
75% chance dice rolls this entire.
Is he a hacker? Does he get a bonfire to it?
Still, it's a 75. It's a 65% chance.
I know.
He would have failed it even with the +3. That's how bad the
another
roll
order,
was.
Sorry.
So, missed on the antenna roll, unfortunately. See if a camo token jumped through the window here in the middle of the room,
Pretty spaced with that.
middle of the board here. Spend another order on the camo token. Just assuming no AROs here, so he's going the full 4-4 through the building.
Does hacking reveal me?
Yeah, rolling on the rolling will reveal. Spin another one. Looks like it's an Alhawa hacker.
This guy gets the +3.
Yeah, so the hackers get +3. He rolled another 18, so that's
Is he a 15 or a 14?
that's a fail. He's a 14. Hawa hackers are 14.
Okay, now I just feel bad, Rory.
Yeah.
Get the tournament reroll dice in there.
It's not even having fun. It's like every single thing I do fucks up.
That dice has rolled 18s twice.
That's your armor save dice.
Your armor save dice.
I'm gonna roll an armor save. And then I'll roll a fucking 2.
You got 2 orders left, hey?
Now that's like the whole fucking defensive thing I had there too.
Bit of a kink in the plan. You needed those orders to get those consoles. Now it's a decision
I'm just gonna
between
tell you what I'm
trying
gonna
again
do, right?
for the
This is-
for the points or trying to
That's
set
the
up
data.
defensively.
He's just going to touch the middle thing. That's all that he cares about. He's the data scan guy, or the data. What's it called?
Data tracker.
Data tracker. All he has to do is just move into base. Just
How
stop
many
him from
orders
moving
you
into
got
base
left,
of that
Rory?
thing.
2.
2 and
Well, technically, right now, if those guys survive, you've got 2 objective points because you get 1 each for being in contact with those objective.
Yeah, I won't have enough orders to go get them, but you should probably put him back into camo state. Like I'd spend 1 to hack it again, and then go into camo state. If he's not in line of fire right now, he can do it.
you can't hold the objective if he's in the state.
But
Yeah, it has to be the model, not a marker.
well, it won't matter if I get my Yodam to touching this, right?
Yeah.
But if I don't get my Yodam touching that,
Well,
then you get the hack console
what you
point.
could do, Rory, is you can say first skill move and move the how a hacker to that blue building, try and get him out of line of sight. Second skill, try and activate.
He's out of line of sight right now too.
I have to leave.
I was saying if you don't if you don't go into marker state, he's gonna get blasted off the board.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If you could maybe potentially move him behind that teal building and just like get out of line of sight, then he'll be within like hacking range and out of line of sight. And it also gives him another roll to try and get that antenna, because like you can move and hack the antenna.
That's a good point. You put him right here and he just pins him down.
Yeah, like it depends if you think between that console where he is and the.
So move, hack.
Yeah, there you go.
I think he doesn't help me to do this. I was just gonna run him up as far as I could and drop a mine.
That works too. I mean, the nice thing though is when he activates Yodam now, you're probably within hacking range.
They're just gonna bug me out. But I have an engineer right beside him.
Okay, watch me fail a hack.
You got it.
So you capture this, right?
Yeah, so Rory has the orange antenna.
Back in the camera.
It's like I got put on tilt so hard there. Like,
You had some really bad rolls. Yeah.
I failed every jam escape, and I failed
2 objectives.
every whip roll other than that one right there.
Yeah.
Jams aren't as easy to get, I guess, as a.
I have a 75% chance of success. How's that on easy?
Because I'm
Mathematically,
rolling face to face against you a lot of times too.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, but
jams with
still, though,
Gazzies.
you're not going for a 15. You're beating me when I have a higher percentage.
Gazzies need 15s.
Yeah, these are whip 15. Yep.
Well, then I get an armor save as well. I
Yeah.
passed up 1 or 2 of those.
It's like probably a 30% chance, I think.
Yeah, it's a BTS save.
Yeah.
So I'm up to 7.
Have you been rolling armor saves?
Nope.
Yeah. So how many orders Sid got now? 7 still, or?
I think 7. So this guy's got me pinned down, right? I guess we'd have to pre-measure to see if he's within hacking range.
Yeah, you can't pre-measure, so you gotta
So I gotta just go for it.
just go for it.
I have nothing else to kamikaze yet.
It's a dicey scenario here. There's an assault hacker
Well, I
probably
mean, this is
within
last
8
turn,
inches of
so
Yodam.
I can just basically choose my battles this round. Shoot Rory off the board. I get stuff at the base, so I need a lot of orders for that. I don't know.
Right now, Rory
We'll just do
has.
this. We'll just get this over with. Do what we were saying. So
So measure. Yeah.
Activating him.
yeah, check the range right now.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
All right.
Cool.
You're probably.
Skill will be reset. I guess shouldn't have measured that yet. It's all right. So you reveal as well.
Yeah, hold on a sec. It's kind of under 10.
Isolation.
Carbonite at +3.
You can.
Mobilize 1. Yeah, total control 0. Actually, that's damage 16. There's no buff to it.
You can also try Overlord, and that's Breaker, so that's his BTS. Because it's damage 14. So what do you think's better? Like, evenly roll.
What's the BTS on you? 9?
2 rolls are typically better than 1 though, right?
I think in this situation, total control is probably better.
Oh, you're gonna possess him?
That's what I was going to try to do.
Possess him.
Yeah.
Oh my god, okay.
So there's an arrow hacking with.
Reset. Beep, beep, boop.
So Yodam fails.
Oh no.
So Rory succeeds.
So he's possessed.
No, so now you need to make 2 BTS rolls against damage 16.
And I possess 1.
9 plus 9, 18.
18.
9 plus 5.
14.
Yeah. So then, well,
That's a fail?
Damage 16, so that's a fail.
Wait, it's double action?
double.
or-
So that's the double trouble means if you hit just 1 success equals 2 rolls.
Yeah.
So similar to double action
But it's
shooting.
not AP.
But it's just normal.
not
So
breaker.
that's the choice that we were talking about. Is do you make
Yeah.
him roll once at breaker special ammo, or do you
Yeah.
make him roll twice without?
So I passed them.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rory.
Yeah, you're
So unfortunately, Yodam passed his BTS rolls.
Well, it's going to be over pretty quick, I think. I'll just move into base to base with the thing and end it.
No, it might be a. Yeah.
But yeah, start taking pot shots.
Yodam is now making his way towards the main
Shoot at the all,
tech coffin in the
all
middle.
hollow.
Where was your first move to?
I went backwards. Something like this.
Moved out of hacking range.
I
Yeah.
sure as hell hope so.
You managed to make every armor save. I failed every single one.
Yeah.
Every time I play you, the same thing. Man. Fucking boring.
It's like how me and other Scott play. Always
Like I should
rolls
have
like
had. You should have lost 3 orders. Turn 1. I should
Yeah.
have jammed shit. Turn 1. Nothing.
yeah.
And I lose shit.
Well, at least you know you're playing it right. Like it was just the dice were.
That's the frustrating. That's even more frustrating.
Yeah.
I'd love to know I was making mistakes that I could improve on. I can't fucking make the dice roll better.
Yeah.
You hear me, internet?
Probably 2 success. Shooting here. And you were dodging.
You're -6, Sid, aren't you? Or are you
-6?
camo and cover?
Oh, you're the TO camo guy.
I crit my dodge anyway.
Okay.
So the Alhawa crits his dodge.
Let's get out of my line of sight. And we'll keep moving.
All right. Cool. Yeah, for sure. This week, if you're around to game, like Thursday or
arrows over
Friday. Yeah, I saw. That's my dad's turning 60, so yeah, that's
I can
valid.
feel it's going to the edge of the cover.
Yeah, lots of gaming
I don't wanna be
days
seen by Alpha
coming
Seed
up.
Yet.
Yeah,
I'll stay out of line of sight.
that's yeah. I think we should always try and like
now I'm back
triangulate
on
the
my
community
short
at one
skill.
location, get as many people as we can out for sure.
Hold on.
Yeah,
I was in my
totally.
second short skill.
Don't split it on the same day. Yeah, totally.
At the missile
So we
drone.
play. I think we're doing another one of these on October 3rd. So that's going to be
Okay, so if I
that,
move
and then
at all, then I get hit by him?
every Friday we're at Hidden City, and then if monthly gaming days elsewhere.
Spend another
So,
order in
yeah,
So here's
cool.
the missile
Awesome.
drone.
Okay, take care. Yeah. See ya.
Thanks. Well, see, he might just stuff me right now. I'm running out of orders. Okay, then up to here then. All right, let's just do this.
See the smart missile launcher AROing Yodam.
Okay, so you're in cover. Range band's good. So probably
I'm probably +3 -3.
I'm looking for an 11.
Yeah. So Sid, you're
3 hits?
you're actually 12, Rory. That thing's it's BS 12. No, that thing is it's BS 12. It's higher than the rest.
Higher than this one?
Yeah.
Oh,
You were off by 1. Yeah.
all right, so 3 armor saves.
Cool. Watch my armor save dice.
The 3 heavy machine gun shots on the smart missile.
60.
You're good. You got cover.
Oh, right.
That one
13.
was
That's a fail. That's a pass.
No, 13's a pass.
Yeah, 10 is not good.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Running out of orders though. It's almost over.
So Yodam's making his
Alpha
way.
Seed.
Up to the facade.
That's up to the
One
facade.
fucking, that was what I was saying. I meant to put him on suppression.
Yeah.
And I didn't. So one shot to rule them all.
One shot to rule them all. Oh, I rolled pretty crappy. Check the range band.
Highest is
So you guys are within. Are you within 16 inches?
At 16?
So just
Out of 16?
yeah, so we're +3.
so they're at +3.
So
+3 -3s?
Yeah. So 2 hits with an 11 and a 3.
11 is my best roll.
so I'm at BS 12.
13. Sid's 13. +3.
-3.
It depends. Like, is Yodam out of cover?
I'm touching cover.
But do you have 30%?
Shit. If it's like this, doesn't matter. I just inched him out.
The trouble
what,
for you
Rory?
is
Make
like
to make it interesting, let's say I don't have cover.
the trouble for you is that the thing giving you
Charity.
the thing giving you cover is that barrel because that's what you're touching, right? And it
Yeah.
doesn't make up 30% of your. So
I need anything higher than 11, not exceeding a 16.
yeah,
Oh, you dick.
just yeah, cocked.
Give it to me.
I didn't
9.
have 11, no. 1 hit.
It's 1 hit against the Facade.
It's not over yet.
8. So I need an 8.
Yeah.
Oh, alive. 3 orders left.
I only had to beat that.
I know where that D is somewhere.
How many orders you got left, Sid?
I'm spending my third last.
Third last
So
order.
just
This is the
shoot him
last
again.
turn of the game, right?
Yeah, this is the last turn. It's this moment right here.
I love this game, but holy
I'm sorry.
shit, does it piss me off so
Yeah, when you get on a bad tear with rolling, it's
I'll move within 8-16 band. Touch that thing. Arrow. Please tell me there's not like a hacker standing right there. I didn't even bother to check.
No.
no.
Get an arrow, grenade launcher shout at you.
Okay, I'm gonna arrow a DEP shot.
So we're doing a grenade launcher shot versus
What does DEP stand for?
disposable explosive projectile, I think.
Panzer
Yeah.
Man, you're within 60, that's +3 for me.
-3 for your cover.
Yeah.
I guess I don't get cover.
So no cover for Yodam. So Rory's firing a grenade launcher at +3. He's looking for 16s.
Light grenade launcher, so I'm at +3,
Yeah.
damage 13.
Normal ammo. Yeah, it's normal. It's like a grenade.
It's an explosive weapon?
No.
No, mine is though.
Your DEP? Oh yeah. It's like a rocket
So I
launcher.
got one shot at 16, damage,
Sid only gets one. The DEP is only a one burst weapon though, so you're only gonna get one shot.
damage 13.
I'll pass.
Sid rolls a 10.
It's up to you, Rory.
Rory rolls an 18. The dice are
This thing has rolled 18 every
not very favorable for Rory here.
This one would have been
Yeah, man, you're just rolling 17s and 18s and like
I
17s.
feel dirty.
So that's just an explosive, or is it
AP
AP?
explosive.
Oh, wow.
Damage 14.
okay, so
3 dice.
3?
Explosive is 3 dice, and it's AP plus, so it's also
So I'm at 3 + 2, so I'm at 5. No, I'd be at 3.
you're at 6 because you go from and it's damage 14, so you need 9s.
9. 1. 2. No, that's
That's 6.
Doesn't even matter. That was a pretty good.
Punchy. Alright. I'm sorry. Do you want to shake my
Well, that's
hand?
Are we done? Like, so we got 3.
Yeah.
I got,
You've got 2, Rory.
because he failed the fucking hack.
Yeah.
We tied it if he
Well, and,
the
yeah.
I'll tell you my
So it looks like, as far as I can tell, the final score is 5. Sid had 5. Rory had 2. Because Rory hacked an antenna and had control of an antenna, and then Sid had control of the tech coffin with his data tracker. I'm assuming that's correct.
I think you're
Yeah.
you're
Good
owed
game,
a
guys.
A good day of rolling. I think you're owed a good day of rolling.
Yeah.
That was pretty brutal.
It's,
Where it's not even fun because everything
yeah.
you try to do is like,
Yeah.
I failed that, I failed that.
I had
I'm
a
starting to
horseshoe up my
believe in the
ass.
power of dice, though. Like, certain ones just suck. Yeah.
I beat Scott Coley on Friday, and I've just been having a really good weekend for gaming.
Was he using the orange Eugene dice? Or
I
was
don't know, maybe.
Okay. I made him use those, and they didn't do so well.
I don't know. I just like. I don't feel like I roll particularly good or bad on average.
You haven't had a game like that, man, where nothing's gone your way. It's not fun.
Let me buy you a drink at least.
Yeah, I have no problem. No, man, it's a fun game. I get frustrated, but it's just like,
Oh, that was
I'm
that was
feeling-
pretty horrendous rolling.
like the amount of 75% chances that I failed, like statistically, like I failed all of my jams, all of them. I didn't jam a single thing.
That was the game I played against Scott Coley. I threw 7 smoke grenades and missed all of them on 15s.
Well, whatever. Then my next game's be good.
It'll work out. It's just
Shut up.
I'm trying to be diplomatic. I don't roll your dice for you. I'm just playing it out.
You can have lots of dice to switch because I honestly feel like some just suck.
I hate that it makes me as mad as it does, but it really fucking makes me.
That's funny. Yeah, actually, I was thinking those ones we got from the Magic players were like, I guess they're from Josh. They seem to roll a bit lower.
Mine, that was the 18s that I rolled in the entire. I didn't roll anything under a fucking 16 the entire game.
It's because they're Magic card dice. They don't like to be using Infinity.
Yeah, and the other ones I got from Max.
No, that's your problem. Is it still on? Just kidding. I have no preference, no bias to any establishments in the gaming community. Unless they pay me.
inside a set of dice that work. Love of God.
Promote you all day long.
It's actually Justin's family.
Yeah. Yes, it's a good idea to write them on the bottom. Yeah, man. Putting the Yodam as the lieutenant is the scariest thing.
Yeah, when you tucked him in the corner, like I considered spending a bunch of orders. But then you had that other guy right behind him too. You just had the perfect spot for him.
I thought it was pretty vulnerable.
Yeah, the trick with Fide is like if you could have gotten behind him, he couldn't flamethrower you.
Yeah.
You would have to.
Well, initially when you made that first move, you weren't even facing me. Then you turned him after you realized what was going to happen.
Then he says you can bring him his stuff later.
Oh, that was good. Oh, is he on?
He took off, yeah.
Oh my God. He's very GT now.
There's a bunch of your tokens up there too.
Okay. Is that token?
That's not. Sometimes I borrow this approach.
Yeah, if I could borrow that puncher from you,
Yep.
that'd be sweet. I mean, at least I know I didn't make any tech errors. I think I played a solid game, had things gone my way. Like, if every jam I tried to do in the video worked out, that would have been 3 orders gone. Yeah. Right off the hop.
I wouldn't even mind those guys being jammed though, right?
Like, it was back there, and